Many years ago, we built special nests for the 3 vulture kings. Angulu, the hooded vulture, Igun, the Egyptian vulture, and Udele, the white-headed vulture.
Hello and welcome to Represented Podcast, Storybooks and More for African Kids. My name is Ugo Ekezie and I'm here with my co-host
Toye Falogi Ekezie. Welcome. Are they welcome, Ugo?
Yes, you are very welcome.
On this podcast, we shine a light on the amazing children's content out there by African authors and content makers. Amanda Medress, in her research study titled Storybooks, a teaching tool for sustainability at Oberlin College, Australia, says, if today's children learn to make decisions with the environment in mind, tomorrow's future will be cleaner, greener, and energy leaner. Storybooks, which are a creative and imaginative learning tool, can influence children to pursue sustainable lifestyles. Early education through literature can help green decisions be the default mode for the next generation. I think that's quite insightful. And so our guest today is author and amazing, beautiful lady, TV personality. So many things, I could go on and on. Mrs. Mariam Longe. Now, before we meet her, let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a co-host on the TVC show Your View, a TV program where she lends her voice to social and political issues. She is an advocate of environmental sustainability, and she lends her voice as an ambassador for the Nigerian Conservation Foundation #SaveVulture campaign. Mariam is also an advocate for healthy living and founder of Lifestyle with ML, a coaching and mentoring program that encourages women and men through diet and exercise to achieve and maintain healthy lifestyle. I love that. You guys know that I love working out and I like a healthy lifestyle. So I'm a fan already. She is also a graduate of the Ahmadu Bello University with a BS in economics. So she is not only beautiful and successful, she's also smart. Wow. So we are going to meet the wonderful Mariam Longe right after this break. Stay tuned. I'm Toye Falogi Ekezie, and if you're enjoying this episode of Represented Podcast Storybooks and More for African Kids, brought to you by Simone's Oasis and Africa Business Radio, why not listen to our other podcast, Special Moms Africa? Real talk on special needs parenting. Don't forget to put on your notifications, like, and enjoy.
Welcome back, everybody.
That's right. Welcome back. Now let's meet our guest. Hi, Mariam.
Hi, Ugo, and hi, Toya. It's so exciting to be here.
Well, we are just so happy to have you on the show. Ugo. Are you present?
Yes.
Are you with us? I think Ugo was just wowed by Mariam's beauty. So Ugo, focus on your hosting skills here, okay? Now, Mariam. A lot of people listening know you as a TV presenter. You know, they see you in their houses every day, like we do. But it came as a surprise when suddenly we found out you're also an author. So can you tell us a little bit about that journey and how you came to write your first book?
Okay. So I've always loved children content. Like, I always speak up about making sure that we are children friendly with our entertainment, our books, our music, you know. And then about 2 years ago, Nigerian Conservation Foundation asked me to be the brand ambassador for their Save Vultures campaign. And it was eye-opening for me, the role that vultures play in our environment. And I also realized that every time we had an event and there are children there, because that's something that they do, they include the children in this conversation. But then everybody's speaking, you know, educated, really, you know, serious words. And I always look to the kids to see if they are following. And sometimes I feel like, they don't really get it. So I thought that it would be important. It's important to write this, talk about environment, conservation, biodiversity in just the language that they understand and that they can relate. And so, it just happened. I think it was just a beautiful, what do they say, serendipity, where there's my Save Vulture campaign, and I noticed the children, and I thought I must use my platform now to make sure that this Save Vulture campaign is also something that the children can relate to. And I grew up reading lots of storybooks. And another thing was growing up, Ugo, different from your time. The Oyinbo books were more colorful. Yes. And the Nigerian books were not so colorful.
Not so well printed.
Yes. And so I thought, and I remember as a child, I really always gravitated towards those colorful, bright books. And I wanted that for our children, that I would be able to share this important message with them, but in a way that they'll find engaging, interesting, and fun.
And familiar.
So that's how I found myself here. So it's not a big story, but just...
To you, it's not a big story, but for us here, it's an interesting story, and it's a big story. And the theme that happens as we're meeting more authors and content makers is they all have this light bulb moment when they realize, actually, we need to connect to the children. And realizing you're not waiting for somebody else to do it. You realize, wait, I'm the one to do it. So we're often thinking about someone else doing it. But what the realization of every single person that's been on our show is that they have taken that up. And that's what you've done. And it's a big deal. Whatever you do in your small pond, it still makes a ripple. Yeah. So you're married.
Yes, I am.
And you have children?
I have 2 lovely children.
How old are they?
My son Enaifoge is 10. Wow. And my daughter Aima is 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
How have they...
Ugo's age.
Yes, Ugo, they're your age. They're in your age group.
I'm older than the girl.
Oh, yes,
you are. So how have they, responded to this?
Oh, my children are like my biggest fans. They're my biggest cheerleaders. Yes.
Why, Ugo? You guys need to have seen. Ugo looks so shocked. Go closer to the mic, Ugo. Why are you so shocked that her children are the biggest fans? Because you're not my biggest fan, right?
Either.
You can tell the truth. Don't worry.
So... that is impossible. That's your own children.
Well, as you can see, Ugo's not my biggest fan. But Simone
You're not my biggest fan.
I am. What are you talking about? I'm your biggest fan. I will always be your biggest fan. So, as you can see, children are characters. And your kids have really responded to this. And how have you introduced other children to this work?
Okay, so first of all, just talking about my children and this book, they were very much a part of the book.
Fantastic.
So working with the illustrator, I would show them the pictures and ask if, they liked it and if it represented, things that they liked and were familiar with. And so, and the story, long before it came out, I think my children know this book like from back to back because they know the words and everything. So knowing, and my children read a lot of books, so I know that since if they found it interesting, many other children would too. Yeah. But then I've also had my friends' kids read the book, and lots of children. Many of the children love the book. The book is also already on Amazon. People are buying it off Amazon, and I get these video reviews sent to me. And what really makes my heart sing is most of them at the end, when they read, they're like, I didn't know anything about vultures, but now I do. And I'm like, and that's it. That's what I wanted them to know.
Exactly.
So I have future conservationists, in the making.
I love that. Yes. So, listeners, let us introduce you to the book. It is called Vultures to the Rescue by Mariam Longe. And she's going to read it with our wonderful host of the show, Ugo Ekezie.
The air was clean, crisp, The streams ran clear and bright. Princess Nkasiri and Princess Siseng rode their majestic horses over the lush hills and that overlooked the busy village. Farm harvests were abundant and the forest animals robust. The people were healthy and happy.
Princess Nkasiri was in awe. Wow! Everything looks so beautiful and perfect in your land, she sang, except those ugly birds hovering about. I do not think they fit in your lovely village at all.
Do you mean the vultures? Princess Sising asked. Yes, the vultures, those evil-looking birds. Princess Nkasiri answered as she scrunched up her nose. Well, since my grandfather, the great King Sodam, invited the vulture kings to live side by side with us, our people haven't suffered any plagues. Our land has remained clean and beautiful because we live in harmony with the cleanup crew, Sising said.
Cleanup crew? Asked Princess Nkasiri as she pointed at the committee of vultures perched on a nearby tree. Smiled Princess Siseng. The vultures help our environment. The vultures help keep our environment clean. They fly over the kingdom every day to eat up organic waste.
No filth or disease is spread over the land and into our water. They also eat the dead, rotten animals that other creatures cannot eat or digest. They do? Asked Princess Nkasiri in surprise. Princess Siseng laughed. Yes, they do. They help keep our village beautiful and our people healthy. That's why we need vultures.
Many years ago, we built special nests for the 3 vulture kings. Angulu, the hooded vulture, Igun, the Egyptian vulture, and Udele, the white-headed vulture. Their population grew over time.
Princess Nkasiri was crestfallen. Sadly, in my village, we have epidemics every year. Our people and animals fall ill from contaminated air, water and soil. We have no vultures. You need to invite them back, acclaimed Princess Siseng. Yes, we must, Princess Nkasiri said with a sigh.
Back in Donga Kingdom, Princess Nkasiri asked her father, King Inda, why the vultures were sent away from the land. We must invite the vultures back. They can help keep our environment clean, she cried. Her father sighed. Our forefather, King Imoken, once built monoliths in honor of the 3 vulture kings. These vultures glided over the land and kept it clean. However, after King Imoken's reign, the new king, Adi, changed everything.
Why did he do that, father? Nkasiri inquired. I'll tell the whole story, King Inda said to his daughter. You see, King Adi only wanted colorful birds in the kingdom. He felt the vultures were too ugly for his majestic palace.
Farmers complained that vultures ate their chickens. Midwives claimed the vultures caused mothers to lose their babies. Blacksmiths accused vultures of bad luck. Hunters poisoned many vultures who got in their way while hunting. Timber loggers, too, cut down trees with vulture nests in them.
The people cheered when the king drove the vultures away. They destroyed the monolith. Only chickens, ducks, peacocks, parrots, and geese were allowed in the village.
Not long after the vultures were sent away, rotten animals, dead creatures, and organic waste littered the streets and forests. Swarms of flies invaded the village, and there was no one to clean up.
Dogs were brought in to clean up the mess. but they got infected with worms and diseases. The dogs in turn infected their owners, and sickness became rampant. Deadly plague spread everywhere.
The villagers soon realized that they had made a grave mistake. King Adi tried to clean up the mess he had created, so he asked the Crocodile King for help. "I do not eat rotten things. Go away!" the Crocodile King snapped. So King Adi went to the Elephant King. "I do not eat flesh. Go away," he trumpeted. The king then walked deep into the forest to beg the Lion King. Sadly, he never returned.
Princess Nkasiri interrupted her father. "Why not ask the Vulture Kings? Maybe if we rebuilt their nest and asked for forgiveness, they would return." The king agreed.
So early the next day, King Inda rode out to the abode of the Vulture Kings. He told them Princess Nkasiri and the villagers were building special nests for them. The Vulture Kings agreed to return.
Angolo flew to the north, Igor flew to the west, Udele flew to the east.
Each Vulture King had a flock of 1,000 birds. The kettle of vultures could see carrion and carcasses from up to 2 kilometers away. With their strong wings, they swooped down to eat them up.
On the ground, a wake of vultures ate up every carcass they found, using their powerful curved beaks. They tore up the carcasses. They dipped their featherless heads deep into what they ate till they picked the bones clean. The strong gastric juices in their stomachs broke down flesh, neutralizing the bacteria and pathogens in their food.
As they cleared the land of contaminants, the plants blossomed, and the air and water became clean again. Then the plague ended. King Inda rebuilt the 3 monoliths in honor of the Vulture Kings. They still stand there today.
The villagers vowed never to harm vultures again. They promised to protect them. They took to the streets dancing and chanting, "Thank you, cleanup crew. Thank you, our frontline defenders." The villagers vowed never to harm vultures again. They promised to protect them. They took the streets dancing and chanting, "Thank you, cleanup crew. Thank you, our frontline defenders."
The end. Awesome book. Absolutely love it. Well read.
Well read, Ugo.
So it's really good because you just put so many concepts in there. Beautifully illustrated. Who illustrated the book?
Her name is Oluwaseyi Alade.
So you had a Nigerian illustrator.
Yes.
Thank you, God.
Yes. All deliberate. But then there are some tough words that he read, and he read them very well. But then they were also underlined, and then at the back of the book is the glossary.
Wonderful.
Just so that the kids understand the meaning of those new words or tough words, yes.
And they're fun facts
and
about
they're
vultures.
Fun facts, like real facts about the vultures. So there are 3 species of vultures that are going extinct in Nigeria.
Wow.
3 major ones right now, and that's the white-headed vulture, the hooded vulture, and the Egyptian vulture. So that's part of the vulture campaign, the Save Vulture campaign that NCF has, and those 3 vultures are highlighted. So that's why they're in the book.
Where can listeners go, where can kids go to read more about this conservation work that's happening that you are supporting and an ambassador for?
So Nigerian Conservation Foundation has an Instagram page, Nigerian Conservation Foundation Education. So you can find that. And then at the Lekki Conservation Center, they've got a library, and then there are people there Mondays to Fridays, just waiting to help the kids. They
Wonderful.
give out books, they give out newsletters to children. And then there's so many other resources online that kids can just go to read about, our environment and how they can be a part of, just helping our environment. Like in my book, at the very end, there's the certificate, it's a pledge.
Ugo, can you see it at the very last
end,
book?
The very last page.
Turn to the very last page.
The very
The inside
end.
back cover.
30. Wait, what does it say? 50 something.
Here.
Ugo, pay attention. Here.
I pledge to help our vultures today. Bye.
Yes.
So you would put your name.
So you put your name, and then, having read the book, you, in your way, decide. The child will decide in what way they can help vultures. And just by talking about the vultures and understanding that vultures are important and they are not evil birds, because culturally, in Nigeria,
Yes.
we have that where we have demonized
Yes.
vultures. So the story is just to help re-enlighten us and help the children know that vultures are really our friends. And they're so cute, Ugo, aren't they? The vultures.
You said demonized vultures.
Yeah, so culturally we tend not to think, we think of them as evil birds, but in fact they have a big place in biodiversity and in the food chain. You learn about food chains at school, but we're out of time. Oh my goodness, we've really run over. That's because it's been such a wonderful book. You've been a wonderful guest. So can you once again tell our listeners where they can find the book?
Okay, so right now you can go on Amazon, just the search engine, Vultures to the Rescue is right there. And in a few hours, it will be on Konga.
Fantastic.
But you can also go on my social media, my Instagram, Mariam, at Mariam Longe, or at Books with Emo. There's a link in the bio.
Oh, wait. Going to stop you there. You were with Books with MO?
ML.
ML.
Yes,
Okay.
Books with ML.
Books with ML.
So there's a link in the bio. You could just click on that and it'll take you straight to the shops that you can purchase the books.
That's absolutely fantastic. Well,
Fantastic.
that's the end of our podcast. Represented podcast, storybooks, and more for African kids.
My name is Ugo Ekezie,
And I am Toyefaluki Ekezie.
the co-host.
That's right. He always reminds me I'm the co-host. So, till next time, what do we say?
Bye.
Bye. For sponsorship inquiries, you can DM us at Simone's Oasis on social media or send an email to hello@simones-oasis.com.